it's the hot stove league season, and I honestly I love all the transactions that happen during the off season. I used to be so bored by it, but I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and just more interested in how a team is put together or what. But man, like every year when free agency comes, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I just get so excited. So
Brad,
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it today
it,
because there's a lot going on. I mean, we'll get to them in just a minute, but dude, the Padres, holy moly! All right, so there's a little tease for you. Anyway, let's start with Yasiel Puig. Okay.
yeah.
Now, okay. So this is a guy who I actually find really interesting because he's a tremendous talent. He's like, I mean, they call him the wild horse for a reason, right?
Yeah.
That he's just kind of this raw talent that's out there, just can't be broken. Nobody knows you don't know what he's going to do next. He's one of those guys where he gets a ground ball in the outfield. He could either throw it over the center field fence from right field, or he could throw it to first and gun the guy down, get the runner out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Like, you don't know what's going to happen. It's like Bull Durham. I don't know where it's going to go. You don't know what he's going to do. Which has kind of caused him some problems, right?
Yes.
So, Brig, your Yankees are looking at him?
Yes.
So, I'm curious how that would work out. Like, as a Yankees fan, how do you feel like that would work out? A, in the clubhouse, and B, just like generally with what you've referred to me as white collar baseball.
Well, it is white collar baseball. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, okay, let's compare clubhouse options. Would you rather have a DJ LeMahieu or a Yasiel Puig in your clubhouse?
Well, that's pretty. I mean, I definitely rather have a DJ.
Right. And I'm not even talking about on the field. That has nothing to do
right.
with
No, yeah,
play.
Strictly in the clubhouse. Yeah, I mean, you've got one guy who is kind of unhinged in the clubhouse a little bit. Yeah. I mean, we've heard of him just ducking his head poking his head into a press conference, saying "bleep the media" and then leaving.
Yep.
You know, that doesn't seem like a very DJ LeMahieu kind of thing to do.
No, it's not. So then, okay, let me make it a little more fair. You get a guy with a whole bunch of personality like Didi Gregorius. Would you rather have him in the clubhouse versus Yasiel Puig?
I still think I'd rather take Didi over Puig because he's still a team player, right?
Yes. I'm softballing them in here, bro. These are ridiculous questions.
How about this? I've got one for you. I've got one for you. Would you rather have Giancarlo Stanton now in right field or Yasiel Puig?
Well, Aaron Judge should be in right field, so that's not even a problem.
Well, okay. Well,
but okay.
When Giancarlo Stanton is healthy, he's in right field. Because wasn't Judge moved over to center field and Stanton was playing this year?
No, they moved Stanton to left.
Oh, did they?
And
okay.
It was an issue.
So
okay, here's the question. Do you think the real question is, do you think Yasiel Puig could play left field? That's the real question.
I think he could. Cuz left field, like, typically of all the outfielders, I feel like the left fielder has the worst arm, but Puig's got a cannon.
Yeah.
So if you've got him over there in left field, you still got a pretty good left fielder. It's just a matter of him adjusting to the ball off the bat on that side of the outfield.
Yep. That first jump, right? So,
yeah.
Okay, so let's say he can adequately adjust. Let's say he can get a better read on it at left field, or at least a halfway decent read on it.
Mm-hmm.
His bat is unquestionable, right? I mean, when he's on, he's super on. So what the question then becomes?
Yeah.
Do you want his influence in the clubhouse? That's it. That's what it all comes down to. And
yeah, that's true.
He can't be having blue mohawks in New York. It's just not going to work.
Well, and who knows? Maybe that kind of reels him in, Because he has said that he wants to work on some of his bad habits, and maybe not being able to have a mohawk period will reel him in.
Right. And so I think back.
If the Yankees say, we're willing to pay you this much money, if you come in, you step in line, you have a normal haircut, we don't do mohawks in New York,
Right.
and you come and you work. We run a business here.
Right.
You come and you get started when you're supposed to, you leave whenever you're done at the end of the day. And I wonder if maybe that kind of structure would be good for him.
So it has been good for other people in the past in New York who have these larger-than-life personalities and get kind of like, even if they're short-term contracts, they get kind of reined in. They're forced to toe the line a little bit, and the New York gets a lot out of them. It just is what it is. It's a make-or-break scenario. And I think with Yasiel Puig, the whole league is wondering what is going to happen. So, because he's just been bouncing around. So, maybe this is the best thing for him. Maybe he's so good, and it's all untapped right now because he's doing this wild child thing, that maybe, he gets his number retired in New York one day. I don't know. He's got tons of career left. Tons.
He does. Yeah, he's still really young. And here's the thing, too, is that this is another way that things could go sideways for him in New York, is the fans.
Yeah.
He's a very emotional player. Yeah. And if he goes in a slump and those fans are letting him hear it, I don't know how he would react to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Milton Bradley, who had a pretty decent career, his career ended in Seattle because he was playing terribly and he could not handle the heckling from the fans. He was going up to the plate with earplugs in.
Yep.
So that he didn't have to hear the fans.
Well,
and his career ended shortly after.
What about Sonny Gray? Sonny Gray's another example. He just couldn't hack the pressure, and it broke him. Whereas when he was playing in Oakland and New York would travel to Oakland, he tore us to pieces.
Well, going to in Cincinnati now, he's one of the top two guys on that staff this last year. And the other guy was the Cy Young Award winner.
Exactly.
you know? So he plays well in smaller markets, and I don't know how Puig would take a big market like that.
I don't know either. Well, he played in L.A.
Yeah, but LA's different. People are pretty chill in LA.
Yeah.
New York's just so uptight.
You're right. I mean, in LA they throw paper airplanes onto the field. In New York it's like
they go get
it's
tacos.
like pejorative slurs and like hate mail, like audible hate mail.
Yeah, it is. It is. But in LA it's very different.
They throw the best paper airplanes in L.A. Okay. Do I think
they do throw the best paper airplanes in L.A.?
That's good.
That's
Okay.
good.
All right. Listen.
Anyway, all right. Let's go on to George Springer. Okay.
Did we just spend 10 minutes talking about Yasiel Puig?
We did. I can't believe it. I was sitting here before, are we going to have enough stuff to cover our time? Yeah. We're going to have to start skipping.
Yes.
Unreal.
Oh, my gosh.
Unreal. Anyway, George Springer, okay. Now, so he rejected a qualifying offer from the Astros, which I was kind of like, you know what? I don't blame him because he probably feels like he's going to get that kind of money somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But also, I bet you those guys are – I don't know if any of those guys are going to be re-signing. Any of those big four. You've got Springer right now. Then you're going to have Correa, Altuve, and Bregman. Yeah. I'm not sure if any of those guys are going to re-sign because of the stink that is attached to the Astros. Their names and the Astros. They're going to want to go somewhere else to prove that they can play without cheating. Yep. And the Astros are going to stink again.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
And so – So when I saw Springer rejected that offer, I was like, yeah, that's probably the best thing for him. And I know that the Blue Jays really, really want him.
Oh, can you imagine him and the Blue Jays?
Really want him.
Oh, man.
That lineup is going to be so dangerous because he's a great leadoff hitter. I don't like him just because he hits a leadoff home run every time he plays the Mariners. But, man, he's I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. That's something you could bet on and win every single time. But yeah, he'd be dangerous in Toronto.
Yep.
For sure. Especially with those huge alleys out there. Yeah, he'd be
for sure. Time. No, I like that. And he'll bring
I think
ton of experience to the younger crowd there, the younger team.
Uh-huh. Teach them how to win. You'd be like, well, we don't do this part of winning, but we can do this part of winning without it.
I wondered.
So we're partway there.
I wondered if you were going to say the teach them how to win thing. It was just too good. Okay, JT Realmuto.
It's in the repertoire,
JT Realmuto also rejected his qualifying offer.
I think that was the dumbest thing he could have done, honestly.
Yes.
Like, I would not have rejected that. That is guaranteed money in an uncertain year. Take that money and run with it, especially with a good team like the Phillies. Yeah, I don't understand that. And, maybe he was worried about uncertainty in the front office. There was something going on there. I don't know. Or he felt just so disrespected by not getting an extension during the season that he was like, nope, I'm out. But, man, I could not believe that.
It's definitely – to me, it's very clearly emotional. Something personal has happened.
It has to be. It's the only explanation. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And it's too bad, but –
But pretty much everybody and their mother is offering money to Realmuto. I did see that it said – so the headline that I saw said that they table offers to Realmuto, and I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean they're putting them on the table, or they're tabling them like
holding off?
Not offering.
Right.
Yeah. And there was no – I mean, obviously I didn't read the article. I just was scrolling down looking for news. But – I wonder if they're tabling those like they're holding off on him because he wants too much money, and everybody's like, well, I don't know how much money we're going to have.
Right. So, well, and that's back to what you were saying earlier.
Oh, check this out.
Okay.
Let me digress back to Springer real quick. This came down 8 minutes ago. It says Blue Jays give Springer a 5-year offer under $150 million asking price.
Whoa.
They're
lowballing him.
They're lowballing him, and I think he's going to take it, honestly.
For 5 years?
Because I think he will. 5 years, that's a nice long contract, and in 5 years he'll still be – I mean, he's 31 right now, so he could probably get a comparable deal for 4 years when he's 36.
And if there's definitely –
I mean, he'll have to stay in the American League because he'll be DHing, but – he's not going to be the same center fielder.
Sure.
But man,
I would take it, especially if it's the only one on the table. I wonder if they gave him a time limit. Like, I wonder if something in the back office is like, all right, you got 3 days, because that's hardball. I mean, they're playing hardball, so why would they not be playing hard all the way around?
Yeah, so it looks like the Mets are the only other team, but they don't have an offer out yet.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, I think Springer's going to Blue Jays. Blue Jays.
Okay.
Looks like that's going to happen.
I love it. I love it entirely.
Yep.
That actually makes me really happy, because a team that needs a guy like that and a guy that needs a team like that, this is what hot stove season is all about, like matchmaking, right? It's like it's like arranged marriages. It's fun.
Yes, it is. It is. Absolutely.
And then you got your guys like DJ LeMahieu,
100%.
whose parents did everything they could to set them up with a great deal and a superb offer. And you know what? They just went, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want. Thanks for the new car. Right? When my Sweet 16, you got me a Spider. And now, that dated me. You got me a... Hold on, back up. You got the Jeep Wrangler I always wanted. There you go. And they're like, okay, now we found this great match for you. And they're and yeah. Anyway, I'll stop the metaphor. But the point is, DJ LeMahieu has rejected the qualifying offer from the Yankees. This is not new information, obviously, but what is new is that nothing is new. Nothing has happened. And I wonder, Brad, my question to you about DJ is, will he be one of those holdouts will he be the last guy to get signed, or is he going to get scooped up in this next week or two?
I think it'll be a couple weeks. I think, quite honestly, I think he's going to LA. He's going to be a Dodger. And I think they're just working out the last little kinks of that deal. That's just me personally. I don't know anything like inside whatever, because I don't know any of that stuff. But personally, in my gut, I feel like
why? Why is what? Please back that up while I vomit into my sweatshirt.
Okay, so the Yankees the last couple years have been like up and down as they come.
Yeah.
Right? Like the highs have been really, really high. The lows have been really, really low. And then come the playoffs, it just doesn't seem to work out. You know, this year was a chance to prove everybody wrong about the Astros and everything, you know, about the last few years, and they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't make it through the playoffs. The Dodgers, on the other hand, have consistently been the best team in baseball. Yeah. You know, it remains to be seen in the playoffs sometimes, and, you know, a lot of people are going to hold the shortened season against them, but it was an even playing field, so you shouldn't. But they've gone on some of the longest winning streaks that we have seen the last 2-3 years. They are a steady hand. You're almost guaranteed to win to some degree in LA. And I think he's a guy who just wants to win, wants to go out there, do his job. He's not doesn't have to carry a team offensively, because he and Luke Voit were the only consistent, like the only guys who were consistent at all on the Yankees this year. And if he's a Dodger, he doesn't have to do that. He's got guys around him who can help carry the load. He's got guys on base all the time who he can drive in. If he's hitting one or two behind Mookie Betts, all he's got to do is hit a ball in the gap. He doesn't have to hit a home run. You know, you know, a DJ LeMahieu home run is not outside of the realm of possibility, obviously. But a DJ LeMahieu double is
super
excellent as well.
Possible.
You know? So I feel like he's going to go to the Dodgers just because he wants to win. I don't know if it's necessarily a money thing. I think that they're probably, like I said, just working out some of the final details. But because they've been working on it for a little while, but I think that's what's going to happen.
What position would he play?
Second base.
Yep. Okay, fine. I agree with you.
Kike Hernandez
He's
is
out.
out.
Yeah. He gone. Why you gotta? You're so mean.
Yeah,
I just want him to stay in New York so bad. I know you
Brig.
don't, and it makes me literally heartsick. I'm like, no, but whatever. It's not about me right now. Okay, it's not about me. Let's get on to Marcus Semien. Marcus Semien's in Oakland, not L.A., and he's bouncing around the last couple of years as a shortstop. He needs to find a home, and who plays shortstop in Cincinnati right now?
You know, we talked about this. It was that young kid. I can't remember his name right now, but they're looking to upgrade in Cincinnati. So it doesn't seem like he is their any part of their long-term plan. So I think I could see Marcus Semien as maybe a third option, because like we talked about, you've got Lindor and Story, Francisco Lindor and Trevor Story, who are possibilities as well.
Those are the three hotshot shortstops out there, right? So who's in the market for a shortstop? We've got Cleveland, Cincinnati, both New York teams. Oakland, if they lose Marcus Semien, which they are prepared to do, and that's.
Do the Angels need a shortstop? I know Andrelton Simmons is gone, but I can't remember if
I don't know
shortstop or not.
So maybe we'll throw Anaheim in there too. But so, who would you rather have, Francisco Lindor, Marcus Semien, or Trevor Story?
Honestly, I think for the price tag, I would probably rather have Trevor Story, just because he's a really good shortstop. but he's not going to come with the price tag of
Yep.
Lindor, you know? Because, I mean, obviously, like, if money was not an issue,
Yeah, of
you'd
course.
want
But we
Lindor.
have to speak
And let's be real.
practically.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think, though, I think Story, while he's going to be more expensive than Simeon, I think that Story's your guy.
So I agree. And which team's going to get Story then is the real question.
I don't know, because he's not a free agent, is he? I mean, that's a trade.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah, he's not a free agent. Huh. Interesting. Well, my brain's going a million miles an hour. I'm like, all right, so if the Yankees move.
I know there's so many different things. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason I am not a GM or anything.
No, I'm not in a front office somewhere. We could be, probably. I don't know.
Holy moly.
The point is, it's like chess, right? It's like,
I like
you
to
like to
sleep
sleep too much. Yeah, I saw Moneyball. Nah, no thanks.
I like to get more sleep than what those guys
It's like
get. I don't want
being
that
on
job.
Wall Street, but with baseball.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Exactly
Marcus
right.
Semion's on the move. We
It's
don't know
on my
where he's
bag.
going to end up. Marcelo Zuna also on the move. He's a free agent. Let's just go through the list of free agents that we have listed here. Didi Gregorius, Liam Hendricks, Blake Trinan, and Masahiro Tanaka. Yeah,
Ooh,
he's headed back to Japan. You just watch. Yeah.
Is he? You think so?
I do.
Man, I'd take him
I know
in
you
Seattle,
would. And you can have him.
because the pitching has been atrocious, and he's been better than what's
True.
been there. So, like, have him come in and kind of mentor the young guys for maybe 2 years, and I think he's got a good thing going.
Kind of like King Felix option to the Braves, kind of like that. Only more.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, and you've got to have him take a discount, because you're not going to pay him the kind of money that he's been getting or anything, you know, or possibly even what he could get in Japan. But you bring him in, have him mentor guys, teach him what it means to work hard and win. Because, I mean, we talked about this before where Cliff Lee was, I mean, I don't remember if we actually had this conversation, but Cliff Lee came into Seattle and he really taught Felix Hernandez, like, what it means to work hard and become a better pitcher, because nobody on the pitching staff or on the coaching staff was doing that for him at the time. And, you know, we've had a complete turnover of pretty much everybody in that clubhouse since then. So I don't think that's still going on. But to have somebody on the field who can teach that, I think that'd be perfect for that young staff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that. I like that.
I'd take him.
Marcus Stroman.
Anyway, so like
What?
kind of like a player coach, but oh, sorry, no,
He accepted the
Marcus
qualifying
Stroman.
offer with the Mets. So he's the one that has accepted. But Trevor Bauer, I guess, is the last one that's really needs to be talked about. And we've touched on him a couple of times, but, you know, he's asking for, you know, a lot of money.
It really is. It's a ton of money. And, you know, he's got an agent who's not going to back down, because part of it is she's trying to establish herself in major leagues.
Well, and she's doing a pretty great job.
So she is. She's doing an excellent job. So I mean, I'm not knocking her at all. I think she's great and she's doing great things. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna settle.
So where does he end up then?
Like, oh man, I would have said, you know what? Last week I would have said San Diego.
It's not gonna be.
He and Mike Clevenger are like brothers. You know, Clevenger's going to be out this year with Tommy John surgery, and I could have seen Bauer going and kind of taking his spot in the rotation this year, and then next year, could you imagine those two in that rotation? Holy moly.
Well, it's not upsetting because I want to see the Padres go, but
I'd like to see the Padres do well, but yeah, like I don't know where he's going to go. They're doing a pretty good job of concealing it. I think I do think the Yankees are on the table.
That's what I was just going to say.
Because they're going to pay for him. I think the Mets are also
exactly
on the table
what I was
because
gonna
they're
say.
going to pay for him. He's not going to go back to Cincinnati because he wants too much money. I think San Diego might still be on the table. I don't know for sure just because of the Snell thing, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But, man, could you imagine that?
It wouldn't be fair. Let's do one last. I'm gonna do a cliffhanger before we go because somebody just gave up one of their starting pitchers, and maybe Trevor Bauer ends up in Chicago. And with that, let's take a break.
Oh.
All right, baseball family, left you with a little bit of a tease there at the end of that segment because the Chicago Cubs somehow have decided that it was a good idea to get rid of Victor Caratini and Yu Darvish, along with non-tendering Kyle Schwarber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, just for context. And then they traded Yu Darvish, Victor Caratini to the Friars. They're going to San Diego, which is terrifying for everyone who will ever play San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean for Chicago? And guess what, Brad? Tell us what they got for their deal, Brad.
A 6-pack and a bag of balls. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get much, if anything, in return. So that says one of two things to me. Either the Cubs really wanted to get rid of Yu Darvish for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason would be. Or two, they have no intention on winning this year and they're going to rebuild. Because you don't let go of a guy like that if you are trying to win.
No.
And we've heard the Cubs say, they've mentioned Chris Bryant's name in trade talks. They've mentioned Wilson Contreras, I think, was mentioned the last week or two in trade talks.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man.
And then 7 years ago, we heard one Javi Baez rumor that has since been dispelled. But when they non-tendered Kyle Schwarber, I was like, what?
I know.
That was like the shot across the bow. We all know Chris Bryant is on his way out as quickly as possible, but that's no surprise. I think we were surprised the first time we heard that, like 17 years ago, but now it's like not a big deal.
We've all gotten used to it,
which
it's still funny to me. Like
baseball,
I don't know if there's something about Chris Bryant that rubs the front office the wrong way. Like, is it the ownership? Is it the guys who were under Theo Epstein? Was it Theo Epstein? Like, is there something about that guy that they just don't like off the field? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know him, so I don't know what it would be. But it's so weird to me that they would just constantly throw his name around in trade talks. Just like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of one of our franchise third baseman. Who would like him?
Okay, has it improved his performance at all? Is my question, because I can see that being somewhat of a last ditch motivation effort.
I don't think it has. I don't know that there's necessarily.
I don't think it has either. I'm just trying to figure out why they would do it.
There's been all that stuff coming out, but
no,
I don't know. But
so the real question is: does Trevor Bauer end up sliding into Yu Darvish's spot in Chicago?
I don't think so. Just because, like I said, it doesn't seem like getting rid of Yu Darvish does not seem like the move that a team who's looking to win now is going to make. So I don't think they're going to pay Trevor Bauer money to not win now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Maybe the White Sox.
Maybe the White Sox
end up on the south side. Because they're in win now mode. That's why they fired Renteria.
Yes.
Was because he was I was actually talking to somebody who's kind of in with some White Sox insiders. So it's like talking to a White Sox outsider who's in with insiders. Does that make sense? So he said that Renteria was hired on as basically a bridge between losing and winning. That he was never supposed to be the manager to take that team to the World Series. That he was going to get them to where they needed to be to get ready to win. So he was kind of like the training wheels, and now that the training wheels are set to come off, they fired him. And that's why they brought in La Russa.
Well, that's pretty rough.
That's pretty brutal. Yeah. Yeah.
And especially to be replaced by Tony La Russa.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean,
like when Tony's gone, what are they going to say about Tony? Yeah, well, here's why we brought him in.
and why we didn't fire him when they were issues day one.
We needed the help I've fallen and I can't get up infomercial money.
Maybe they were worried about an ageism suit.
You're right. There it is. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what it is. Yep.
I don't know.
For all you HR people out there, you're welcome. We get it.
But
anyway,
no, I could see the White Sox pony up the money for Bauer, not the Cubs.
I could too. Yeah. But honestly, I think Trevor Bauer's going to end up in the Mets or the Yankees. I think he'll end up in New York one way or another.
He's not a dummy. He knows the money to be made.
That's what I think. Yeah.
But
neither is his agent.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Padres though. We've talked about them here and there. Like, so they got you Darvish for like nothing. And then Brig,
just a bunch of prospects.
And then they go and trade for a guy who didn't want to be traded for in the first place, traded for Blake Snell. So the Padres, who had a pretty good pitching staff last year, now has a great pitching staff, and those bats to go with it. I mean, we're calling them. We weren't calling them Slam Diego for nothing. You know, I mean, we know they can hit.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not just hitting home runs. Obviously, it's getting on base, so that's dangerous. I mean,
yeah, it's all about OBP out there. It's awesome.
It's fantastic, and I've been saying for a while now, watch out for the Padres. I mean, do we need to make a T-shirt? Watch out for San Diego, because they're coming, and they're coming hard.
It's brown, yes, yeah. What we'll do is we'll make a T-shirt. It's brown, and in yellow it just says "Watch out."
There you go. I like it. Let's do it. You can see it on the shop.
Hashtag you heard it here first. Yeah,
but
give me a couple days.
But for reals though, I mean they're dangerous. They're scary. They're coming for the Dodgers. They're not just going to roll over and let the Dodgers take the West.
No,
they're not just going to be happy with a wild card berth into the
they're
playoffs.
sick of doing that. Yeah, exactly. They're fed up with that. They've been doing that, and it's over. And it makes me really happy.
They might just be young and dumb enough to not know better.
And exactly. That's exactly what I think it is.
So,
and I say bravo, dilly dilly, and what? Get after it.
Yes, very good, very much, very good. All right.
Oh my gosh. Well, and so what else? Oh, Josh Bell. We got to talk about Josh Bell. I know.
So crazy. Okay, so the Nats come off a World Series win and laid a big fat egg for 60 games.
Super egg.
And I mean, if ever there was a championship hangover, it was the Nats in 2020. Woof.
At least it was shortened.
Absolutely. Woof.
Woof.
Man. But now they come out and they're like, well, there's this Josh Bell guy. Maybe we should get back to our winning ways. We've recovered. And so I'm curious if that's just the first of a few moves that we're going to see. Like, who knows? Maybe they'll come in at the 11th hour and offer Trevor Bauer a whole bunch of money and be like, hey, you're going to be our new guy.
They will.
Because we're not going to extend Max Scherzer. So, I mean,
maybe they will.
I don't know. It's definitely an interesting move.
So, okay, so because Josh Bell signed a 2-year deal?
I think that's what it was. I'll have to double check it.
Something like that. Short.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, wow, that's short for such a young guy with all this potential. So, my question to you is, Brad, is this a stepping stone situation for Josh Bell, are we going to see him in a third team in the next handful of years? Or are they going to try and win with literally try to win with Josh Bell and whomever else they can bring on, and he kind of like finds a home there?
Well, here's the thing: it's not like they have a bunch of crappy players, right? They
No.
still have Steven Strasburg. They still have Juan Soto, who is like, I mean, he was in the MVP conversation this year, and
Yep.
I mean, he wasn't the Juan Soto he was of 2 years ago, which was, saying something, but he was still an MVP candidate this year, and I think he will continue to be because people have compared him to. I want to say they've compared him to Ted Williams with his plate discipline. If he can maintain that with his power, I mean, that's a guy who can anchor that lineup, and if they can build around him, I mean, if you've got Soto and Bell batting back to back, come on now. I mean, you've got to find a third guy to protect Bell, and that's it. That's not a good trip to the heart of the order for the opposition.
No.
So,
what are you thinking? 2, 3, 4, something like that. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, probably 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just one more piece that they're looking to put in place to compete in maybe not 2021. I don't know. They might get something together in 162 games. Who knows? That's what they did in 2019. But
sure.
But yeah, he could just be one more piece. And if they make a deal between now and the trade deadline, don't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be. I mean, I think they're headed to the playoffs anyway with Josh Bell.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means or how far that'll go, but I could see that easily.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I mean, because they still have Ryan Zimmerman's leadership in that clubhouse, so it's not like,
yeah,
it's like he's gone anywhere. And to have him come in, have a guy like that come in to be able to give Josh Bell a day off, I feel like is pretty beneficial too.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
Because you're not really having a major drop off in ability there.
No, for sure. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I actually totally forgot about that deal, but when I saw it, I thought it was really interesting for the future of the Nats.
Yeah.
So, good on them.
Or they lay a couple of eggs and Josh is like, I'm out.
They could. It could. That's the way it could be. Because they traded for him, and I think he has from what I saw, it looks like he has another 2 years on his deal. But yeah, he could peace out,
something like that
at first chance if you really wanted to, if they were terrible.
Yeah.
And with that, I bet Juan Soto probably would too.
Well, if that's the way it goes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting one to watch. Interesting guy to watch this next year.